You still get a bit of judder.
So my first drive in the GTI Clubsport 45, the limited edition run car. I'll put up as many clips and images, and hopefully you've heard the noises just before I'm speaking now of this fantastic car. Now I have done a Q&A on this, and it's really worth the listen if you're interested in that car. I'd recommend checking that out for sure, because it's really, really good. But yeah, for me, it was absolute pleasure to drive. I absolutely loved it. That's the initial thing I want to say. It was from a subscriber. He reached out and allowed me to drive this limited edition car. Basically it's sold out now, you can't even buy it. But let me just go over you what I kind of felt of it, and kind of the extra bits over a normal club sport, and kind of what you get. So 300 brake horsepower. Straight away from the outside, you get those 19-inch black wheels with sort of red pinstripe around it. They look fantastic in person. They look really, really good. You get Golf R style brakes, so they're like 370mm drill disc brakes, so huge stopping power in a slightly lighter car than say like a Mark 8 Golf R. I will do comparisons between, because I actually have driven a Mark 8 Golf R today, which I'll share with you in a POV in a future video. So I'll do a comparison in a later video, but for this I'm just going to be talking about this GTI 45. As you can see, this was in Moonstone Grey. You get a black roof, which is again specific to the 45. You get the Akrapovic exhaust, which sounded unbelievable. Hopefully you've enjoyed the cracks and the bangs that I've shared. And yeah, that was fantastic. And you know, it was such a sort of special car. The moment I saw it pull up, well, the moment I sort of turned up at the car park, I was up in the Peak District, so like it was just fantastic roads. The owner went for a good drive. I then went and had a decent drive in it, and I felt I really got to understand the GTI Clubsport a lot more. It felt quick, more than quick enough. Gearbox was responsive. It's very nice inside actually in the car. The only thing extra you get with a 45, you get a little 45 badge sort of on the steering wheel. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as a normal Clubsport. You know, don't be looking for anything else special. You know, there's no sort of other 45 marks in the car. It's a nice place to be, but that was kind of it. His car had dynamic chassis control as an optional extra, which he specifically put on his car. I 100% noticed the difference. I've driven club sports with passive dampers without DCC, and you notice the difference. Basically, DCC enables you to be a lot softer, and then can sort of turn it up to being a lot harder as well. And I've also, well, the Golf 8R that I drove today, but also had DCC. So it's a good little back-to-back comparison, which I'll share with you soon. But this car looks great in person. The IQ lights look really, really cool as well. And I really do think like the black door mirrors with the black roof, it really goes well with the car. And I just think it ticks every little box, particularly from the outside. And the way it drives really, really well. It comes with a little bit of a better performance orientated tyre on the car. I believe they're Goodyear Eagle F1s. So a little bit of a step up of say like the Bridgestone Potenzas that you'll get on sort of like the 18-inch wheel car. Or even if you get the 19-inch on say like a Golf R or something like that. So it's a little bit more sticky. You could obviously go even further, but I felt that was sort of like a big improvement. That along with DCC was a big step up from me from driving sort of like a normal GTI Clubsport. Granted, you can fit those options to a standard GTI Club, so you can get the 19-inch wheels, not those specific ones, but you can get 19-inch wheels, you can fit DCC, you can fit a nice set of tyres on it, and you've got exactly the same sort of driving experience. There's no difference in the drive. That's the one thing to say. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, the titanium Akrapovic exhaust saves a little bit of weight, but realistically, it's not going to make a huge amounts of difference. But I thought it was really, really good. So it felt really nimble along those kind of roads, really sort of bumpy, classic British type road up in the Peak District. And it felt really, really compliant. It felt really, really planted, but still had a little bit of an edge about it, which I thought was really, really cool. You know, yeah, you had to be kind of on your toes while driving it. And I quite like that about it. But nonetheless, completely easy to use daily if you wanted to. You know, you can turn it off. You can basically put it into eco. Akrapovic exhaust can make no noise. And, you know, you've got a fantastic cruiser, which is a great trait. It's a good two-sided car. But then when you stick it into Nürburgring mode, you know, it has it sort of set to what you'd want. The dynamic chassis controls works in the dampers that you'd want it to work in. And it starts flying. It's brilliant. It's so compliant on those roads, and you really feel the confidence to push it, whilst you feel like you're kind of getting enjoyment out of the car. You can either use the paddles if you want to, or you can just, you know, let it in auto, let it do its thing. And it was a joy to drive. You know, I kind of actually want to leave you with a lot more like sounds and sort of driving clips, to be honest, which I think I will do. But I can only sort of say how great the 45 is. You know, to be quite a rare car as well. It's going to be the last of the types of cars, you know, the 50 edition, let's put it that way, 45 being 45 years of the GTI. Yeah, it's going to be electric. It's not going to be powered by this 2-litre EA triple 8 engine anymore. And that's going to be a shame, but, you know, enjoy them while we can. It looked special, and it delivered how it looked, if that made sense. Some cars can be a bit showy and not, you know, pack the punch. This packed the punch. And, you know, the fact that you can't even order them anymore, it makes it even more special. And it was an absolute, you know, pleasure to drive, to be honest with you. And, you know, massive thank you to the subscriber who's allowed me to sort of drive his pride and joy. If you have any more questions about the car, please do let me know, or let us know in the comments. You know, I've got a great community based here on this channel, and you know, always happy to answer questions. And I will produce more videos. I've got a lot more clips of this car which I haven't shown you to, well, you know, I've just sort of condensed it into a small video today, but I'll share those in the future. And yeah, no, I hope you enjoy them. And I'll also do some sort of comparisons of myself, comparing a 45 directly to a Clubsport, directly to a Golf 8R, so I think you'll enjoy that. But from a standalone car, I think it's absolutely sensational for the road. You know, what a piece of kit. You're not going to see 45s around. You're going to see a lot more Clubsports and Golf R's around, even in these sort of strange times where cars are, you know, it's difficult to build cars because of the supply issues and the computer chip issues. And VW have had to go into a direction where they're not necessarily going to make these special cars anymore. And for me, that's really, really sad. So to get the chance to, you know, I jumped at the chance to drive it. And yeah, I'll be smiling for a long, long time kind of looking back at it. It was a really, really fun drive. Just the area it was in, the specialness of the car, the fact that it was a subscriber as well, everything kind of teed up. Yeah, and I can only be grateful for the people who support the channel. You know, give it a like. That's a big thing for the channel. It really does actually help build it, and yeah, that's all you kind of have to do. That really does help it. And I hope the videos that I produce kind of help you out. You know, I remember talking about this 45 and sort of doing videos of it, and, you know, hoping maybe I'd get the chance to drive it, and yeah, to actually get the chance. You know, I couldn't imagine it, you know, from 7 months ago, just talking about picture, to actually get to drive it was pretty special. Yeah, and the spec he went for, I think, worked well. It's spec'd well, the GTI Clubsport 45, but obviously VW you can charge a little bit more if you want to. Go for DCC, and you're pretty much set. You're just on your way. You've got a great car to then enjoy, and yeah, and I think it represents good value. It's not, you know, at the moment it's not for sale anymore. I'll have to keep you posted if it does appear back for sale. But if you look at the actual price and, you know, what you get, the Aquapovich exhaust is probably £3,000 on its own, and that's thrown in. The wheels, VW would probably charge you about 800-900 quid for them. So just for those two options alone, you kind of quids in over the premium that you have to pay for a 45 over a Clubsport. So value-wise, and the fact that it's limited run, you know, big thumbs up. I actually really like the ambient lighting as well in the inside, but that's on sort of like, you get that on all the Golfs as well, so it's not something just unique for the 45. But an absolute brilliant drive. I will show more clips in the future, but for now, any comments you have on this car, just let us know. The owner's obviously a subscriber as well, so he can probably reach out as well. And I keep in touch with a lot of the owners actually that I do drives with and do features with. So, you know, you may well get to see it again on the channel as well. Well, you definitely will, because I've got more clips. But, you know, a future drive down the line, and to understand how the owner's kind of getting on with the car is a big thing. And if you do want to be a part of that sort of experience, and you own one of the cars that I talk about on the channel quite a lot, and you'd like to do a Q&A or a feature, just reach out to me. Check out the About section on my YouTube homepage. You can DM me on Instagram or send me an email, and we can get something sorted. But this 45... I'm lost for words. I've got a lot more to say about it, but for now, that's just a sort of a small summary. I hope you've enjoyed the clips. Hope you enjoyed the noises. It sounded great. That's, yeah, and even yeah, everything kind of was kind of pretty perfect for that day, to be honest with you, to enjoy that car. And I can only recommend, if you've got a car like that, to enjoy it on roads like that whilst we still can. But yes, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel to enable opportunities like this to happen. And I really hope the insight helps you lot out as well. And I'll continue to keep helping you out as well in the future. But yes, like, share, subscribe. That's all you have to do to really help it grow. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Cheers, guys.